tied for 7th in the conference, behind number 3 Texas A&M, number 4 South Carolina, number 6 Tennessee, number 8 LSU, and number 11 Georgia. Who topped the list? Clemson and Oregon. And guess who the Wildcat facilities beat out? How about teams like Notre Dame, Auburn, USC, Florida State, and Florida? UK's continuing support of football resulted in $45 million spent on upgrades back in 2016. Speaking of football, here's a stat for you. In the last 6 seasons, UK has risen a spot each year in the SEC East final standings. 7th in 2013, 6th in 2014, then 5th, 4th, 3rd, and finally in 2018, 2nd. Mark Stoops pointed that out at the football kickoff luncheon on Wednesday, stating there was only one thing left to do: finish number 1 and go to the championship game. Wednesday baseball, the Cardinals and Cubs are tied again. Cubs win game 2 of 3 on Wednesday night, shutting out the Cards 2-0. Both teams are 57 and 50 and atop the National League Central. Braves beat the Nationals 5-4 in 10 innings. Cincinnati over Pittsburgh 4-1. That's it for your Thursday. Join your fellow UK fans on Facebook in Wildcat Lair. I'm Eddie Owen.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Raider Auction Company. You've been listening to your WPKY News Edge. Find news 24 hours a day at WPKYonline.com.
WPKY.
1580, 103.3 WPKY, 755, and boy, oh boy, Tess, gorgeous forecast on tap for us as we have all these great events going on this weekend for Dotson Days.
Which is a good thing, because if we're going to play wiffle ball,
and that too,
I'd like for it to be as hot as possible so I can pass out and just go sit in the dugout.
I don't know if you're going to get your wish. It's not really going to be that bad. The humidity levels are a little bit low. The temperature's in the mid to upper 80s, so it's actually going to be, in my mind, for this time of year, pretty pleasant.
You know what I'm going to call? I think I would love to go out there and just kind of point. You know,
make your call
like that, and make my call.
Yeah. Point.
I think I'll do that.
Kind of like the Babe did.
What are the odds that?
I don't know. The problem is there are some wicked pitchers out there. They can make that ball do all
kinds
of stuff.
For wiffle ball?
Oh my goodness, that's the key to wiffle ball, man. You get a pitcher that can make that thing dance and turn. I mean, it makes you look silly out there. I mean,
the person pitching or the one that's
the one at the plate. If they got a pitcher out there, they can make that ball twist and turn.
Ball is, right? I've never seen. Really? Is it a thing?
A wiffle ball.
Well,
is
I
a
know.
ball with
I
holes
play
in
wiffle
it.
ball.
Okay, well, the key to wiffle ball is,
how do they throw it fast?
Oh my goodness, they make it move and dance and twist and turn. I mean, that's the key.
I live
to
under
it.
a rock.
Yeah, so
I've been living out with the cows too long. I think that's what it is.
Google just Google some stuff and watch some of the pitches.
So what you're saying is, if I Google it, I probably won't show up.
No, I didn't say that.
Is that what you're saying?
Just get ready for a challenge if you're facing a terrific pitcher.
I will go out and play for all the rednecks. That's for all the Farmersville hillbillies. This one's for you. I'm going to go make fun of myself for you.
I tell you, it's going to be great. Todd's coming up here with the Sideline Report to Dennis Hodge and Ken Parker. You know, we're going to be discussing about the Jake Hodge Foundation. You know, last year they raised well over $40,000 and this has been going on several years. They're up over $100,000 total for the entire foundation.
That's amazing. So, that number is crazy.
Record 24 teams this year. And they've even added an additional ballpark. We've had Little Bush, now we've got Little Fenway. So we're going to hear more about that coming up next hour.
That's a great thing, though, is when you get too big and you have to expand.
That's awesome.
Hey, that's a good problem to have, isn't it?
You got it.
You know what? Another good problem to have is when you're hungry around here, because, we've got some really good choices that we can make, to include Kay's Kitchen.
Good stuff.
I'm telling you, it's the burgers with the juice going down the mouth. She's got the fried. Do you like fried pickles?
I will eat them. They're just not something I just go, oh my goodness, fried pickles.
See, I didn't used to like them at all.
Yeah.
And Kay said, hey, yes, you do. And I said, no, I really don't, Kay. And she said, now let me make you some, and then you tell me that.
Yeah.
I've been eating them ever since. They're my favorite thing in the world. I order them everywhere I go where I find them. And she got me started on them. She has the best fried pickles anywhere.
I'm
around.
an omelet fried potato man.
Oh, I
right
like
there,
that too.
there.
Do you do the home fries
and
or
pancakes,
the hash browns?
I like the sliced potatoes with the onions.
Oh, the home
fries.
fries. Oh, yeah. She'll cover them, smother them. Oh, she does it all. Go out and say hi to her. She is right there on North Jefferson, 501 North Jefferson Street, right here in Princeton. Go out there and tell her that Tess and Ty sent you in, that we said hello. I seen her yesterday, actually. I was out and about at a couple of the stores and running around with kids, and got to see her yesterday.
Got to see Miss Kay. Well, good deal.
Oh, guess who else I saw?
Who?
I saw the people, the nice ladies over at Cato's right here in Princeton, and guess who they had on? We were on. We caught them listening.
There we go.
We were right there, loud and proud. So
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
Yeah, and we certainly appreciate those of you that have Tess and Ty on in the mornings. I know Health First Community Health Center out South Jefferson. They listen in the morning, so good morning to you all. And, of course, we caught Dono driving by for Atmos Energy yesterday or the day before, and he gave us a big wave and a honk.
Well,
so
and you know,
lots of folks listening, and we appreciate it.
Some of them are truck drivers, too, and that's work. That's listening while you work.
Oh, yeah, and whistling along with it. So,
Hey,
there we
I
go.
like that. Little boogie in every once in a while.
Yeah,
maybe.
man.
Hey, stick around. We got our community calendar coming up here in just a few seconds. Of course, the Sideline Report is coming up with Todd Griffin, and Ty Englebright is going to be
I'm
a
gonna sit in
special
today.
guest star today.
No, I'm just kind of along for the ride with Todd, so
Well,
we're just going to
hey.
reminisce a little bit.
It's going to be fun either way. You don't want to miss it. My kids actually tune in every Thursday, especially my son. He wants to hear Todd. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know, Coach K let him out a little early. So
All right.
CJ wants to listen
All
to
right.
Todd. But stick around. We got all that coming up and more from Tess and Ty in 1580 103.3 WPKY.
The voice of Caldwell County. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. It was Biden in the bullseye last night.
Opponents blasting his record on health care, immigration, and crime. Frontrunner Joe Biden trying to turn the tables on Senator Cory Booker, challenging Booker on his record when he was mayor of Newark, New Jersey.
There was nothing done to deal with the police department that was corrupt.
Fox's Jill Nato says Booker pushed back during the debate on CNN.
Mr. Vice President, there's a saying in my community, you're dipping into the Kool-Aid and you don't even know the flavor.
The third Democratic debate slated for September.
President Trump, who rallies voters in Cincinnati tonight, tweeted the candidates were not those that will make America great again. The father, charged with the deaths of his twin one-year-olds left in a hot car, is due in court in New York City this morning. And one person's dead, at least 5 others hurt in a gas pipeline rupture early today in Kentucky. This is Fox News.
W277CK, Princeton. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Another gorgeous day on tap for us. You can expect sunshine today with a high near 84. Clear skies overnight tonight, low around 64. Sunshine returns for tomorrow, high near 87. Same for Saturday. Sunshine, high near 87. You're heading out to that Jake Hodge Foundation wiffle ball tournament. Going to be a gorgeous weekend for that. Dotson days as well. A little bit of rain comes in over the weekend, a shot of it. Slight chances, mainly in the evening hours, but looking great for the weekend. And today, sunny, a high near 84. It is 70 at WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cozy Living Interiors.
West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction invites you to the Auction Center this Saturday starting at 9 a.m. Selling will be furniture, antiques, and a whole lot more. The auction starts at 9 a.m. The Auction Center is located at 2216 U.S. Highway 62 in Princeton, the former Hancock's Grocery location, just past Walmart. West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction. Wayne Boy Broker, Auctioneer. Find out more about upcoming auctions or how to have an auction for yourself at westkentuckyrealestate.com.
Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
And good morning. Dotson Days Community Festival getting underway tonight. It's the Community Disciples Annual Banquet. It's at 6 p.m. Community Awards, annual reports, guest speaker Alyssa Young, president of Hopkinsville Community College. That's at Northside Baptist Church. There'll be a catered meal. Tickets are $20. Get yours this evening.
Well, actually the basketball youth dirt bowl. Now that's for ages 9 to 13. If you haven't been there, it's a whole lot of fun. You can contact Vic Gray, 270-365-3467 for more information.
And of course, the bike safety program, grades 4 through 6, sponsored by the Rotary, and that's going on up there as well. That begins at 6 o'clock Friday evening. Other activities include on Friday.
Well, the cornhole tournament, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Now, registration will start at 5:30. There is a fee for the pre-registration, which is a little bit cheaper. It's $20 if you pre-register, $30 a day up. Now, that is good for any kind of male, female, no matter what age you are. Get your team registered of 2 people, and you'll be ready to go. They got some stiff competition. You can even bring your own board.
That's exactly right. But the big event is the alumni meet and greet Friday night. That's from 6 to 8. Dotson alumni welcome anyone who attended the primary, elementary, or middle school or high school. And then that's from 6 to 8. And the DJ in the park with DJ Vic, I do believe, 8 to 10 on Friday night. And then Saturday, get big day planned as well.
We get to play bingo. Yes. Who doesn't love to play bingo, especially with a lot of friends and family you haven't seen in a long time? 10 till 11:30 that morning. And then, of course, they're going to move straight on from bingo.
Yes, it's the Dotson program. You're going to have a history of black businesses. That's from noon to 1. That'll be under the pavilion at Dotson Park.
The basketball 7-on-7. Again, this is another one that you don't want to miss. Now, ages 14 and up, it's $150 per team. That starts at 10 o'clock. Now, you can contact Vic Gray, 270-365-3467 for more information. It's very competitive. They have a whole lot of fun, and you don't want to miss that.
It's the co-ed kickball, and that's at 4:30 until it ends. You can contact Gloria Walker, 270-625-4792 to register.
Well, and then on Sunday, this is another one that's please don't miss it. It's the church worship service in the park, and Miss Pat is going to be there at 3 p.m.
Pat Major. That's a way to wrap up the Dotson Day celebration.
Absolutely.
In Princeton. Don't forget about our blood drive, the American Red Cross. That's at the 121 Kentucky Avenue at Calvary Baptist Church. Just go through the doors there, head back to the gym. That's off US 62 West. That's going on today. Members of the church having donor appreciation, sandwiches, finger foods, desserts, and all kinds of goodies. For more information, contact the church, 365-5605.
Well, if you got a dirty ride, the Band of Pride is going to put on a car wash on Saturday. That's 10 to 2 at Taco John's. And so make sure you swing by and you say hey to the kiddos, and it goes for a good cause. It's from the Band of Pride. That's your community calendar. If you have an event coming up, you'd like us to know about it, WPKYonline@gmail.com is the email address. All you got to do is email it to Tess and Ty, 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Since 1978, Perry's Floors & More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors & More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors & More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
Peace, love, and music. It's hard to understate the impact of the 1969 Woodstock Music Festival on American culture and music.
Join Casey Jones Distillery and the Pennyroyal Arts Council and celebrate Woodstock's 50th anniversary with the Lights Out Festival featuring the Woodstock Rock Orchestra August 17.
Hopkinsville's own Mark Jones, Chip Graham, and Alonzo Pennington, and at least a dozen more seasoned musicians will take you on a musical journey through the performances of songs played by
The Who, Sly and the Family Stone, Joe Cocker, Led Zeppelin, Creedence Clearwater Revival,
The Beatles, Janis Joplin, Santana, The Rolling Stones, and many others.
General admission and a limited number of VIP tickets are available online at pennyroyalarts.org and CaseyJonesDistillery.com.
Or in person at the Alhambra Theater box office and at Casey Jones Distillery.
So make your plans now for the Lights Out Festival featuring the Woodstock Rock Orchestra August 17th at Casey Jones Distillery.
And special thanks to our lead sponsor, Budweiser.
Hey guys, Heidi with Capitol Cinemas, your local Princeton movie theater with your weekday lineup. Cinema 1, The Lion King, PG, shows Monday through Thursday at 5 and 7:40. In Cinema 2, Spider-Man Far From Home, PG-13, shows Monday through Wednesday at 5 and 7:40. Spider-Man ends Wednesday for the opening of Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, PG-13, shows Thursday at 7. In Cinema 3, Crawl, rated R, shows Monday through Thursday at 5 and 7:30. This week's free movie, Saturday, August 3rd, is American Tail. Doors open at 10, movie starts at 10:30. This week's Saturday free morning movie star sponsors are Princeton Electric Plant Board, Dr. David French, Princeton Drug, Jill Giordano, DC Plumbing, Precision Body Works, Goodwin Insurance, Perry's Floors and More, Sheriff Stan Hudson, Optimist Club, Dr. Mike Littlejohn, Morgan's Funeral Home, Massage Therapy, and McDonald's of Princeton, Marion, and Eddyville. Call during showtime hours at 270-365-0200 or visit us at capitalcinemas.net. Thanks for listening. See you at the show.
Beach Bend Park is the place for summer fun with 2 parks in 1. There's thrills for all ages with classic amusement rides, water park, daily shows, mini golf, and so much more. Hop on the awesome Kentucky Rumbler roller coaster with over half a mile of amazing drops and twists. Jump into 1,000,000 gallons of adventure and fun-drenched attractions at Splash Lagoon, featuring a wave pool, lazy river, and thrilling water slides. Relax in your own private cabana rental. Book a birthday party or group celebration or experience the park at dark on Friday Night Lights from 5 to 9:30 p.m. Plus, enjoy fireworks on select nights. At Beach Bend, the parking, tubes, and sunscreen are always free. For hours, offers, and season pass info, visit beachbend.com. This is your summer, your time. This is your beach.
Beach Bend Park. Fun for the whole family. Beach Bend Park.
Legendary rock band Jefferson Starship is coming to Bowling Green on Thursday, August 29th. There's a limited supply of $19 tickets available. Buy now by clicking on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYOnline.com.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYOnline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. This is Todd Griffin in the studio, and a very busy studio this morning. First of all, WPKY's own Ty Englebright is with us today. Ty, thanks for sitting in on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And, of course, the big event coming up is the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament. We've got Ken Parker in the studio. We've got Dennis Hodge. We've got Dave from Boston. And, Dave, help me out with your last name again.
Giacobbe.
We're going to have to remember that. I have to write that down phonetically so that I can remember it.
We might have to. Great name, though.
Absolutely.
I've heard it all. Don't worry.
Ken, I'm guessing a really busy time for you guys right now.
Yeah, Todd, we've got a few new projects going on this year for the Jake Hodge Foundation. I tell everybody I'm at my hay weight right now, so it's a good time. We start really getting in full gear about a month before the tournament, and we really don't stop until Sunday night about 7:30 or 8. And so it's very busy, very fun, and it's going to be a great weekend.
A lot of people coming in, and you've got, 24 teams lined up this season?
Yeah, 24 teams coming in. That's an all-time record. We had to accommodate those teams. We had to have a big construction project over the last month. We built a second field, and we want everybody to experience a good, fun weekend. I want everybody to think this is the most fun weekend they have every year. It is for me.
Yeah.
And it's just an exciting time.
Again, we're talking about the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament. I almost messed up there, Wiffle Ball. Dennis, tell us a little bit about how the Jake Hodge Foundation came to be. It's the Wiffle Ball event has turned into such a big tournament, a big event locally, but tell us kind of how that all came into play.
Right. In 2000, 2008, we lost our son Jake, and as anybody that goes through that experience or that journey in life, you look for the purpose of where you should go. And one of the things we did was start a scholarship foundation. So with that, we started giving away scholarships, and then one day Ken calls me, and we talked about this, and he says, guess what's in my backyard right now? And I go, what? He goes, a bulldozer. He said, I'm building Little Bush Stadium. And so it's just kind of evolved from that to where we're at this morning with Ken sitting here looking like Bill Murray from Caddyshack because he hadn't slept. He's been up taking care of the field all night, the 3-day beard, and we've got Fenway Park, and we're able to hopefully do something that makes a difference in our community.
Well, and one thing you guys do, you raise a lot of money, and you give a lot of scholarships, and I'm not sure how many scholarships you guys gave out last year, but every time I looked at social media, you were on there handing out scholarships.
Yeah, big picture, we've given out roughly $93,000 since we started, but one of the things we're doing this year is we're starting an alumni association. So anybody that's ever received a scholarship from the foundation, come get your T-shirt. There's going to be former alumnus giving away those T-shirts, and we want to help young kids do great things here in Western Kentucky, in Caldwell, Crittenden, Trigg, Lyon counties, just to make this a better place to live.
What is the goal for this year, Ken, as far as raising money? Because I know you usually put it up there.
Yeah. Well, I think this year we're going to raise over $50,000. And I don't think we're done yet. I think we're just cracking the surface of what we can do. I think this foundation and this event has kind of taken a life of its own. And over the last, we started this in 2013. So over the last 6 years, we've really seen it grow exponentially. And I think this year, with the addition of the second field that we built, I think there's the potential to raise in the six figures over a 3-day weekend.
Wow.
When I first built it, I told one of the guys that was working with me, I said, I think we can probably do $30,000 on the perfect weekend, and we've blown that out of the water. Last year we raised over $42,000, and that was with one field. I think with a second field we can do double that. We've got some new fundraising ideas that we've put in place this year. It's like everything else, we come up with an idea the day after the tournament, but then it's about 2 years before we really implement it, because you forget about it. Then, now we can make this better. We've got the big 15-foot high video jumbotron again this year, and we really, there's a lot of opportunity there to sell advertisements and even video commercials you can play during the between innings. But we've got some really good ideas. My wife has started a thing called the 2020 Club, and that's really I got that from a guy in Vermont that does a similar fundraiser, except he raises a lot more than we do there. The 2020 Club is someone, she's an eye doctor, so 20/20 vision. But the 2020 Club is any individual that raises 20 donations of $20 or one donation of $400 or more dollars is in the 2020 Club, and we give people a pair of knee-high red socks to wear during the event that say 2020 Club on them. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it from a grassroots standpoint, if you've got not businesses bringing money, but if you've got not just teams bringing money, but all the individuals on each individual team bringing money to the event, then suddenly you can get to that point where you're raising $100,000 in a tournament. So that's what our goal is to get this to a point where everybody is participating, not just a few members of the team, but every member on every team is participating, and that's how you really start to see your money grow.
Well, I know every year you would say you had this new goal, and every year I would think that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then every year you would meet it.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Last year I said $40,000, and I was kind of biting my tongue when I said that. And we beat it by $2,900 last year. And so I just think every year you just get an idea of where people are in terms of giving. And people like Dave, Dave has been, I think the number one individual contributor to the Jake Hodge Foundation. And, you know, Dave's from Vermont. Grew up in Boston, and he lives in Vermont, and he was an Army Ranger buddy of Dennis's, you know. So people like Dave, you know, that's what we're looking for.
Dave, speak a little bit about how you got involved in all this.
Well, I've been friends with Dennis and Shannon for many, many years, and you know,
we won't hold that against you.
We lost track for a bit of time, but Shannon was coming back to Boston she's a history teacher, to see a bit of the city, and Dennis tracked me down somehow, some way. We got back in touch and rekindled our friendship and started vacationing together every summer. So I got to know his young family, and of course when tragedy struck, we came down to support the family, and we'll support them in any way we can. It's just amazing to see the things that these guys have done and the community buy-in. And I have my brother and his family coming down for the weekend, and maybe, you know, to Ken's point, maybe we'll be Pied Pipers for the north, and we'll have a caravan coming down every year.
He says he's going to bring a team down from Boston, but he's a little nervous
it's
about
a little
the
bit
conduct.
of different culture.
I just felt like I was transported into Goodwill Hunting. I just started going through some math problems. I love it. Keep talking.
It's helpful that the county has turned wet recently. Maybe that'll bring some of our teams down.
Oh, I love Boston, man. You can't beat it. Bring the leprechauns and all this stuff down here.
It's not just Boston; it's South Boston.
It's South Boston.
Make a good point of that.
Man, we got Southies, but Dennis, we were talking yesterday just about when you at the end of the school year, when you guys pop into all the area schools that the foundation helps support these scholarships. It's an incredible thing to see everyone light up and receive these scholarships that you all are allowed to provide through the foundation, and not just this tournament, just the donations you get, but that's got to be a tremendous feeling.
It is, and you know, kind of a side note to that, Ty, is, you know, I go into every gym around here, and some of them are hostile. Some of them are more hostile than others during the year, of course.
Are you saying the 5th District can be hostile?
Yeah, so to go into Livingston County's gym and get to hand out scholarships to guys named Ringstaff and guys named Head, it's really fun. It makes it really neat, and I think it totally kind of changes the dynamics of, you know, we see competition. We absolutely love competition. In fact, there's nothing more than Caldwell, Crittenden County person.
We were just talking about
see Caldwell get beat in football, you know, which we haven't seen in about 10 years. But you know, that kind of changes the dynamics of the relationships, and I think that's really important.
No doubt about it. It's sort of we talk about it being a community, but when you go into those hostile gyms where you have such fierce competition during the year with the athletics, and then you say, you know what, they're bringing our kids money. That's just the way that we all really gather and come together, and that's what I think the legacy of Jake is really about. And again, as Dave was talking about that tragedy, but look at the beauty and the wonderful aspects that have come out of it.
Right, I totally agree, Ty. And you know, and there's people out there that I'm sure have gone through the absolute same thing we have, and that's the one thing you realize. There's people always in a worse condition than yourself. So to sit around and feel sorry for yourself is an option, but it's not a good option. And it's always about what are you gonna do next? What does God have for your life? What am I supposed to be doing right now? And how can I help other people? And that's, if you constantly look at things like that, and I know you guys do, it just makes life a little better.
Well, and I'm not sure the 5th District is as brutal as it used to be to one another. You know, a lot of things have happened. A lot of the communities have come together in a bunch of events, and it just doesn't quite seem as hostile as it used to be. It seems like, and I know kids play on travel teams together, so they know the other kids now. So it's not quite the same way it was 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah, if
maybe.
you watch the old, I know you watched the 30 for 30 with the Lakers and the Celtics.
Yeah.
And, you know, Danny Ainge went out and like talked to a couple of Lakers, and I think Cornbread Maxwell goes, "What are you doing? Why are you talking to those guys? You can't be talking to them." You know, and it really kind of was like that in the 80s and the 70s, but not now.
No.
It's totally different. A lot of the kids are buddies and they play together, and it's pretty fun.
talking about the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament coming up this weekend at Little Bush Stadium and Little Fenway Park. So I got lots more to go, but we need to get to a break here on the Sideline Report. We'll be back with more after this on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Get spruced up with quality mulch from Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road in Princeton. We all know that buying mulch by the truckload saves money, and it's only $25 per load for dark natural mulch at Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road, 1/2 mile past City County Park. Bashir Sawmill also buys standing timber and timberland. Give them a call today, 270-365-2330. That's Bashir Sawmill, family owned and operated in Princeton for over 50 years.
One of the unpleasant side of summer are bug bites and ticks. Bugs, including mosquitoes, ticks, and some flies, can spread diseases, including Zika virus, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and Lyme disease. Reduce your risk by taking the following steps to prevent bug bites. Use insect repellent. Use EPA-registered insect repellents that contain at least 20% DEET for protection against mosquitoes, ticks, and other bugs. Other repellents may protect against mosquitoes, but are not effective against ticks and other bugs. When applying insect repellent, remember to spray all exposed skin, but also the clothing and shoes as well. Cover exposed skin. As much as possible, wear long sleeve shirts, long pants, socks, and a hat. Tuck your shirt into your pants and your pants into your socks for maximum protection. Check yourself often. Once you return from outdoors, immediately check for ticks. Pay close attention to areas such as scalps, ears, armpits, groins, as ticks tend to frequent these areas. It's also helpful to shower as soon as you're inside if possible. Stay safe and try to avoid bugs and ticks this summer.
At Penny Ryle Electric, our residential prepaid program is an alternative to traditional billing. Members say they like it because they don't have to pay the deposit they'd have to pay with traditional billing, and they receive daily information about energy usage. That information helps them to use energy more efficiently. You pay for electricity in advance, and as you use electricity, your account balance decreases. Check your account balance online and opt to receive a low balance email or text. It's just another way we at Penny Ryle Electric hope to make your life simpler and more energy efficient.
Herb Hayes Furniture, always the best.
Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress is the hometown store with big town appeal and style. Mandy and Elizabeth go to the furniture market and hand select Herb Hayes inventory with you in mind. You'll see the difference when you walk through their doors. It's a short drive to Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress, where you always get the best selection, the best furniture, at the best price on the Boulevard in Hopkinsville.
Herb Hayes Furniture, always the best.
The Sideline Report rolls on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're talking about the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament coming up later this week, beginning Friday, out at Little Bush Stadium, and a full house today. Thanks to Ken and Dennis and Dave and Ty for all coming in. And Ken, I guess the big question I have for you is, at what point did you think, hey, I'm going to build me a wiffle ball field?
Well, Katie and I bought we purchased our property in 2010, and I had that thought even before then. I mean, I had seen what there's a guy in Vermont, Pat O'Connor, who built Little Fenway Park in 2001, and I saw that I just thought it was cool. Everybody likes wiffle ball, and when I was a kid, we put up plywood and I played with my friends, and sawhorses and plywood was the fence, and even when before we bought it, I thought that's what I want to do. And then of course Dennis's son passed in 2008, and then we bought the property in 2010, and I just thought this would be a great vehicle to raise money for his foundation. Excuse me. And we really weren't sure that we would be able to raise money. I didn't know how it would respond in Princeton. I just didn't know. But it was a Labor Day weekend, 2012, and I called about 25 guys up and said, hey, we built a wiffle ball field, we're going to have a wiffle ball game. And Dennis came down, and I remember, there's a bunch of guys there. I mean, and I've got a picture of it, and, Eli Pepper was like, little, or he was, in maybe a freshman, or maybe even a, I don't know, maybe he was I don't know what he was, but
he could have been a middle schooler though, and still been pretty tall.
He was still taller than everybody else in the picture. But I remember seeing how young everybody was, and that day we had a great time. We played 4 or 5 games, and at that point I knew that the dimensions were right. And number two, this could be something that we could really make into a big event. And the first year, we had 8 teams. And I had to pretty much, just call everybody I knew to try to get a team up, and so did Dennis. And, and in the last few years now, people are calling me and wanting to get teams in. I had to turn a couple away again this year, but they understood it was late notice. But, every year we've grown. But to answer your question, I mean, I've had this idea for years. And it's just – and finally it's getting to a point where it seems like, without building the second field this year, we could have almost done this in our sleep. Because, you know how much food to get, how much concessions to get. But then I went and changed it all this year. I mean, what was it, about a month ago?
I don't know, but you got to be careful being around Ken Parker.
Did you got to be careful. Did you really scramble this a month ago and go, I'm going to expand it? A month ago, or did it have to get the enrollment? Or?
Listen, I've got a couple of character flaws, man, and one of which is when I get on an idea,
get out of the way.
I'm like, hey, let's build a wiffle ball field. Well, let's make it like a major league stadium. I mean, not just a wiffle ball field. So I was looking at all these teams, and I said, we don't have time to do it. One of the things we wanted to do, and he and I talked about this, is I wanted to be able to give people an experience. Last year people came, played 2 games, that was it. But now we've got teams that are bringing $6,000 and $7,000 to the event, and I'm thinking, if you're going to bring that kind of money, I want you to get your, quote. I know it's a donation, but I want them to enjoy it, and I want them to get their money's worth. And so I wanted to guarantee each team 3 games. I wanted each team to play, and really get involved in the event. And so the only way to do that was to build a second field. So then we started looking, and, on the other side of the pine trees there on the property, we got enough room to build a second field. So I kind of got my tape measure out, put a couple of bolts in the ground, and moved that tape measure around. Called him up to come over, and of course, with this time of year, we're like 2 kids. All right, I'll come over and check it out. So he comes over, and I said, "Now here's one layout. Here's the other layout." And this is about what, 6 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was just. I mean, we had no choice. So I said, "Well, we can't keep it up here because it's real next to the road. My wife won't let us keep it up. We'll have to take it down." So I had to find a way to build modular panels to use for fencing. So then we came up with a bright idea. Well, if we're going to do it, we might as well put Fenway Park. Why not? A 12-foot high wall, And if you ever stood next to a 12-foot high wall, it's really high.
It is high.
And so we built these panels, and next thing I know, man, we've got a second field.
You got a monster. I saw pictures yesterday, Todd. I don't know if you've seen the pictures yet, but I'm not telling. He showed me a comparison between the wall at Fenway, the actual wall, and then the wall they built out there. It's incredible how he captured it. I mean, it's almost identical, isn't it?
If he wasn't an orthopedist, he could certainly be a wiffle ball field builder, an engineer, or whatever.
It's unbelievable.
Well, as long as the wall stands up for 3 days, that's all I care about. If Dave and his family are near the wall and a big wind comes in, they want to move out of the way. I'm just saying, I'm not an engineer. I'm just saying, but it's up now.
The pictures don't do it justice. I mean, it's fantastic, honestly.
You're exactly right. It's going to be wonderful when the teams are out there and get to step onto it and get to play it, because you're going to feel like you're there. You really are.
Well, we thought it would be kind of just a JV kind of field, and I wasn't sure, But then after we built it, Dennis says, we should just play the playoff games here too, play, equal amount of games on both fields. And so we're going to do that. We've got the brackets all set, the playoff brackets all ready to go. And so I think both fields will get a lot of use this weekend.
How did you decide on Busch Stadium and Fenway Park? And because, there's other ways you could have had Little Wrigley.
Yeah.
You guys could do the little Astrodome with a roof over it. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you could go.
Now, Todd, don't give me ideas now.
Little Ebbets is what I'm voting for.
There you go. Well, originally I was going to do Fenway, but that 12-foot high wall was just something that I had to slowly, convince. It's like with my wife, it's like putting a frog in a pot of boiling water. You just kind of got to let it heat up just a little bit, and they really don't know they're boiling until they're boiling, Yeah. And so I had to start out slow.
Is she listening?
See, I love her.
Heating up a frog.
We had to start out slow,
That must
Todd.
be a Kentucky saying.
Yeah, it's got to be. Dave.
See, Dave, when you put a frog in boiling water, if you boil the water, put the
Why
frog
would you touch
in,
a frog?
It hurts. But if you put the frog in cool water and slowly boil it, the frog never knows, you see. So we had to go slow, Todd.
Yeah.
Had to go
How's
slow.
Peter feel about that?
And so we had to start out with Busch Stadium. I was going to do Wrigley, but then all these Cardinal fans started giving me blowback.
Yeah.
Like, you can't put
you would get
Wrigley
some issues
Field
there,
here.
yeah.
Well, then we noticed that, Busch Stadium has some pretty cool characteristics. It's got the Cardinal Arch and the World Champion banners and the Big Mac Land.
Right.
And Joe McEnany really encouraged Big Mac Land. And so when I saw the Big Mac Land sign, I thought we could build a sign like that, and we did. And next thing I know, we've got Big Mac Land. We've got 2 decks on each side. So it really turned out well. But you just, the Cardinal country is Princeton, and we're so close to it. Everybody loves the Cardinals here. So I felt like, well, let's build a stadium that people in Princeton will like. And I don't want to build something that everybody hates.
Yeah.
Because if I put the Cubs here.
Yeah, you don't want to be a Cubs man.
Yeah.
Who wants to be that, Todd?
Well, I'm not going to say anything. To tell you the truth, I think maybe a little SunTrust may work for me.
What is
that? So, but you know what? I really think it's got to be an iconic baseball field, and Fenway to me, we need an American League team. We got it. And I think Boston fits pretty well. I really do. And we have some Boston fans here in Princeton. We do. And so we do. We have several. And it's just great. I think so. But, boy, once you see the green monster out there and the scoreboard, I'm telling you, you're going to feel like you're right there. I don't know about the Citgo sign. I don't know if you got it out there. but the Citgo sign is something we need. You know what you guys know what you're talking about.
We've already discussed that.
So that's got to be something. Boy, if you get that Citgo sign out there, you're really going to be in. But I'm telling you, you're in right now.
Yeah.
Talking about the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament coming up later this week. We need to get to another break here on the show. We'll be back and talk more after this on the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast calling for sunshine today with a high near 84. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 64. And tomorrow, as we kick off Dotson days, mostly sunny with a high near 87. Now, over the weekend, Saturday night, 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. And then again on Sunday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. That's mainly in the afternoon, though. Highs sticking right there in the mid-80s. Again, sunshine today, though, with a high near 84.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Bradley Furniture.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Whether it's their first day at kindergarten or the first day as a senior in high school, you want your kids to have everything they need.
Don't let money worries stop you. Visit ABC Finance.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you with all the things your child will need for school.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call, and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
And like us on Facebook.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
As we continue on the Sideline Report, don't forget about Dave's Deal of the Week at U-Ride in Princeton. This week it's a 2013 Chevy Equinox Black all-wheel drive. See Dave for details at U-Ride in Princeton. That's U-Ride 310 Marion Road, Princeton. Telephone 270-365-3215. Be sure to ask about Dave's Deal of the Week at U-Ride. Again, a full house in the studio today talking about the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament. And, again, just such a great event, raising money for scholarships. And Dennis, exactly how many schools do you guys give scholarships to? And I think we talked a little bit about it earlier, but do you know how many kids you've actually given scholarships to?
Yes, I can't quote the number of kids off the top of my head. We have the program when you come to Little Bush. When you grab a program, you can open it up and you can see pictures of all the $1,000 winners from the time we started, and then it has a list of all the $500 winners that we have given scholarships to. And I did quote the $93,000, but to quote the number of students, I'm afraid to throw that out there.
You guys have gotten a lot of publicity for the Little Bush Stadium and the wiffle ball tournament. As a matter of fact, you guys were on KET just a couple of years ago over that.
It was last year.
Yeah.
The guys called me, emailed me, and wanted to do a spot. His name was Jim Voskel, and Jim came down, and it was a great piece. You can look at it on littlebushstadium.com. That's our website, and you can see the video. Scroll down a little bit, and you can see the video. He gave me the video to use and distribute as I wanted to do it. We'll probably show it during opening ceremonies, perhaps during the tournament. But they came down on a Wednesday, and I would probably guess they were there for probably 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours maybe, and then they came back on Saturday to get some tournament shots. And I guess all told, probably 8 hours of time they spent, and the video was 10 minutes. It was really well done. I thought they did a great job on it. They really captured the spirit of the event. They interviewed Dennis and I, and Connor McInerney was interviewed, and it was a good thing. I think it really, and I've had some people give me feedback. I saw you on KET because they run it multiple times during the course of a year, and then I put it up on. I'm new to the Twitter. I've got a Twitter thing that I'm new to that, so I put it on Twitter, and so I've just tried. I want as many people to see it as they can because it's a really good piece.
Well, and that's where I saw the Fenway Park thing was when you actually tweeted it out a week or so ago.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. so you if you're following me, then everybody
I'm
can
following,
see it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That's what I'm
You're
doing
big
right
time
now.
Todd Griffin is following you, man.
It's big time.
That's awesome.
I'm going on that side.
No, I follow Todd. That's how I figure everything. I know what's happening in sports. I mean, just all you got to do is follow Todd. You know everything going on, man.
There's no doubt about that.
Well, I do want to ask you a little bit more about putting the fields together, though, because it's not like you went out and put a fence up, man. It's like, the grass is perfect. The cutouts around the bases are perfect. I mean, there was an actual long process and a lot of work that went into that.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and I can tell the radio does reach to Katie's because Katie said she's been compared to worse than a frog. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like.
Yeah, it's okay.
When Miss Katie shows up.
Well, to answer Todd's question, yes, Todd, it's a you have to make it where people feel like they're on a major league field, and just to a smaller scale. And that was the one thing that the guy in Vermont told me. He told me some really interesting things. And the first thing he said was, and he used this term, and I used it in the KET piece, you have to suspend disbelief. You have to make people think that people are watching them. And when you're batting in that tournament and you're seeing the field and the crowds, you feel like you're on a big-time field. And that was the first thing. And the second thing he said was, if you build one field, you're going to build a second field. And this was in 2011 when I was talking to him. So, he was right. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's a source of pride for Dennis and I to give people something that they really appreciate and that they can walk on and feel like they're having, and just have a great, great experience. And even in the home run derby, if people aren't participating, they can come hit some home runs in the home run derby,
Well, the first time I was there, I was actually hesitant to step out on the field because it looks so nice. You're like, I don't want to step on this and mess it up.
The grounds crew is going to come out and run you off.
Listen, I do feel like Bill Murray. My son Luke was out there with a golf club the other day and almost killed him. I was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "It's golf course." I said, "No.
It's a putting green. Get your chipping wedge out of here.
It probably almost looks like that, though. I've seen it out there, man. You got that grass cut perfect. I mean, you could almost put a golf ball on it.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Todd, and you know a lot more about, you and Ty know a lot more about what's going on in Caldwell County, but it just seems like this weekend that this place is booming. You know, you had the concert last weekend that my son-in-law and daughter came over to. Just a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
It really is Dotson Days. You know, it's like a homecoming. People come in for the old Dotson school, and they reminisce about that.
Saw Michael Gray yesterday.
Yeah, Mike Gray was in. And then, of course, I was wanting to get back to what Dave said, if I could for a moment. You know, you being from Boston, large area, you live in Vermont now, that's kind of a rural state, but yet you mentioned the community aspect. You notice the community coming together. I'd like to get your perspective on your observations of what it's like from being pretty good ways away, being in those situations, but what you feel and see this community doing as far as this tournament's concerned.
Yeah, we've been down to this area to visit Dennis and the family a half a dozen times or so, and that's the one thing that we always notice when we come down here is the sense of community and the small town feel and how people seem to generally care about each other, and that just is exacerbated this weekend with the tournament, and you know, the support that they get. It makes us proud and be happy to be here and support in any way we can as well.
We're definitely glad you're here, and you said you have additional family coming in as well. Is this going to be their first experience with it?
It is. We've admired from afar.
Okay.
We've watched when it was live streamed.
Yep.
And this year finally worked out that we could make it. I've spread the word up north. I think this is going to be just the beginning of it. I have friends that have wanted to come down, bring their kids down. I think that's actually going to start happening. I'm going to break them in slow with just my brother and see how that goes.
So I'm thinking that I could see a team maybe called the Buckners coming in. What do you think, man?
Bucky effing Dad.
Bucky
I told Ken yesterday that I would boycott the tournament if the left field scoreboard read the score that was happening during that day.
Poor Boston fans and poor Bill Buckner's never going to live it down.
It makes it a bit easier now that we've had some success.
That's right.
At the Cardinals' expense, I'm sorry.
You're right. Yeah, there's not a 2004 for the world champion on that Cardinals field. That's not there. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I tell Dave, I had a friend of mine that actually saw and met Bucky Dent, and he signed, and he's a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
And he signed the picture Bucky F. Dent.
Oh, really?
Bucky F. Dent.
That's exactly how he signed
it.
Well,
there I go. You can see my sports prowess. I was talking about Bill Buckner, who flubbed it against the Mets. That's what I was talking about. Bucky Dent flew right over.
But honestly, I mean, and I would tell Dave this, if there could be a team from Vermont, that would be incredible. I mean, if we could get our true northern flavor coming to the South to participate in this, hey, that would just put icing on the cake, And but now that would be a problem. Then your team might not get credit for all that money you raise every year. Now the Vermont team.
Not a problem. And, another connection that slightly connected. Dave's company does business at Fenway Park, his communications company. So, we may have an inside route there. Who knows?
The next thing I know, probably Bernie Carbo will show up to the event, Dave will bring a bunch of Red Sox down.
So looking ahead, we got Little Fenway. Of course, Little Bush is the anchor. But as this thing grows, we turn our eyes possibly. Can you envision, and is there room for a third field in the future?
Not at this point. Not at this juncture.
Is there room on the property for a third field?
A third field would probably be Yankee Stadium, but it just
not that you've given any thought.
I don't see that happening. At this point, but you just never know. And Todd,
Katie, we are not building a.
I just hear this. I hear, if you build it, you will come.
Yes, we played that last year on the big board.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Yeah.
One of our students, Skylar James, is our technology
Yes.
guy. He goes to Crittenden County and he takes care of all of our video boards in
Yeah.
Crittenden County. And he's one of those kids that's paying it forward.
That-
Kind of
no
like
doubt
Nala
about it.
Woodward.
No doubt about
a
it.
kid that's working every year. And her team was the second largest fundraising team last year. And she works all year long doing things. And she's a girl that plays for Shannon. And they volunteer at the tournament. But he runs our video board and he's downloading stuff all the time.
That's cool.
To play if you build it, they will come.
All the good baseball stuff.
When the
girls
when the girls played last year, he put that Sandlot clip up. You play ball like a girl.
And the Fredonia girls were playing on Sunday last year. They were playing.
That was interesting. I got a call from Derek Perkins' wife, and she said the Fredonia girls want to put a team in. We've had the Fredonia boys for years. I mean, anything. Listen, if you do anything athletic,
I should play with Jerry Peak and those guys down there, man. I tell you.
Well, I got a funny story about him too. But if you play any sport in any 3-on-3, there's always Fredonia is going to be involved.
Oh, yeah.
The Fredonia boys are kind of a staple. They've been practicing for like the last 3 months probably. And they come in and they've only won it one time. Have they won it once? Yeah, they won it once.
Which is one time more than my team.
Yeah.
As if I'm counting.
But anyway, so then Derek's wife calls me and says, I want to get a team in. So the girls, it was last minute. So they ended up raising more money than the boys did, a lot more. And they made the playoffs, and the boys got eliminated. And so on their jerseys, they wrote, "We made it to Sunday" on the back of their jerseys.
Oh man,
it was great.
And that great spirit of competition, though, and fun. That's just part of it out there. I mean, we can rib each other a little bit and have a great time and doing great things.
Speaking about competitive, Jerry Peak, man, he was he was pitching for Acridge's one year. They had a team in it. And I'm telling you, I think it was when Oliver was 12, and Oliver's travel team, they shelled him. He was getting so mad. He kept throwing harder and harder, and the harder he threw, the straighter that ball went, and the further it went out. And finally, he just put his hands up and said, "I'm done." And he walked off the mound.
Oh, I love it. We didn't do that to him back in the 80s. That didn't happen. He was pretty wicked. So.
Guys, we need to get to one more break here on the show, but we'll be back with more talking about the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament coming up this weekend at Little Bush Stadium in Princeton. Back with more after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast calling for sunshine today with a high near 84. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 64. And tomorrow, as we kick off Dotson days, mostly sunny with a high near 87. Now, over the weekend, Saturday night, 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. And then again on Sunday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. That's mainly in the afternoon, though. Highs sticking right there in the mid-80s. Again, sunshine today, though, with a high near 84.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kay's Kitchen.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy is a family-friendly environment that offers a wide range of classes to reach your fitness and well-being goals. Whether you're into yoga, gymnastics, sports training, team training, cardio, kickboxing, or weightlifting, Trilogy has something for the whole family. Family discounts available, and your first 2 weeks are free. Located in Princeton behind Cash Express. Be better than you used to be at Trilogy Performance Sports.
It's all at your fingertips now at WPKYonline.com. Local video, local news, local sports, local weather information, and of course, contests. Plus, you can listen to us on your smart device. Just click the Listen Now button. We've made it easier to find your favorite information. WPKYonline.com.
Back on the Sideline Report on a Thursday morning at 1580 103.3 WPKY. Again, a full house today as we talk about the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament going on. Ken, Dennis, and Dave in. Dave, give me your last name again.
Giacobbe.
Giacobbe. I'm going to remember that. I need to write that out again phonetically, so not sure why I'm struggling with that. I get Englebright, okay, but
that's a tough one too. But Giacobbe's just, you don't hear that one around.
How many Italians?
I can't wait to hear Fish say Giacobbe. You know, the voice of Little Bush Stadium.
Little Bush Stadium.
With his pseudo Bob Uecker, Harry Carey drunk voice. I can't wait to hear that.
And what a fantastic job he does out there. I mean, that just has become a big part of the tournament, hasn't it?
Oh my goodness!
He's an icon.
Fish. Oh yeah. His voice is just as good as it gets for a public address announcer.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's in the Hall of Fame, the Little Busch Stadium Hall of Fame.
No doubt about it.
He was the second inductee. He was the Christy Matheson of Little Busch Stadium.
Oh, man.
Well, it's wiffle ball. Can you guys explain just a little bit about the rules? I mean, is there a rule book? What kind of rules do you go by?
Oh, there's a lot of rules in wiffle ball. A lot of rules.
Well, it's much like baseball, but we do have some things to speed the game up. A foul third strike is an out. You can hit a player with a ball.
You can't throw it at them.
You can throw it at them.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah. That used to hurt with black tape on the ball. Oh, yeah. Maybe leave a mark.
Yeah.
But you can throw it at them and get them out. And it's basically baseball rules. I mean, Bob Hayes called an infield fly one year, and that was kind of a questionable call. To call an infield fly in wiffle ball is kind of an odd thing.
Subject to the field, though, there are some safety rules for the field, like no cleats, no gloves.
No cleats, no baseball gloves. No cleats is the big one. Every team needs to have a matching shirt. You can't play barefoot because my youngest son has never worn shoes on Little Busch Stadium for the last 7 years. But yeah, I think that's kind of just all baseball rules. There's actually, we put the rules up on the website because the real competitive teams want to know the rules and all that stuff, so I tell them. Also, the pitch speed is a big thing. We encourage movement and not speed. And the mound's 32 feet away, so if you want to gas one, you're going to strike somebody out. But we encourage teams to strike out with movement of the ball, and so the ball has to have a bit of an arc to it. The umpire's discretion will tell you if they're throwing too hard or not. And we've seen the better teams, pitchers, really have an arch to the ball. Particularly the good pitchers and things. So that's really the main rules.
And it's a great event. It's a fundraiser, but there are always guys that are going to be. As soon as you start keeping score, somebody's going to want to win.
Yeah, I mean, we keep career stats.
Yeah,
we've got the career stats on the website. I mean, there's people that, Chris Evans questioned the record book one year, and I said, "What are you talking about?" Well, I hit 2 home runs last year. You only got me down for 8, I said, okay. So I had to go back and do a little accounting, and sure enough, Chris was right. But yeah, he called me and told me that, so I said, okay.
Glad somebody's keeping you honest.
Yes.
Well, you say you've got 24 teams this year. How do you kind of break those down to play the tournament over 3 days?
Yeah, that's a good question, Todd.
Well, talk about the divisions first and how we try to get them even.
The funnest thing for me is trying to see how teams match up. So you want people to enjoy themselves a little bit themselves, and I try to match the teams up in divisions of similar talent. Like, Division 1 is going to be your better teams. Of course, Mr. Hodge's team, former EKU star, is in Division 1.
Who have never won the tournament.
And who's never won the tournament. My team won in 2016, and we just bowed out.
We're like the Florida Marlins. They sold everything.
We sold everybody off. So, anyway, we try to match up the teams in similar divisions. Dennis's team, the Fredonia boys, there's some high school teams that are going to play in that division. And then you go down the line, Division 2, Division 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 being the small boys, the 9, 10-year-old boys. And Division 5 are most of the women's teams and things like that. So you want them to enjoy that round-robin event. They play a round-robin, and the winner of each division goes to the playoffs. And that's how, and the playoffs are seeded. The winner of Division 1 is automatically the 1 seed and so forth.
And you had several new teams, I'm guessing, this year. Can you talk about just some of the teams you've got coming in?
That's a challenge because I don't really know what those teams are bringing. Like the first year the Bone Collectors came, I put them in a division against a co-ed team, and I mean it was like murderer's row, man. Those guys came out with arms the size of my thighs, and they just killed everybody, And so we've got a few different teams coming in this year. Atmos Energy is bringing a team. There's a team called the Long Shots. Jackie Scholler from Cadiz is bringing a team, and they'll be quasi-competitive because Jackie has a lot of connections, and then there's a team called the Regulators from Marion, a fellow named Charlie Day, who's part of First United Bank. Yeah, First United Bank in Marion. There's a team called the Replacements. That's what they were. They were a replacement team.
Actually, that team wanted to get in. That's Aaron Brown, a Caldwell County guy who's now our pastor at our church in Marion, and he wanted to get in. We didn't have room, and because of another team that had some conflicts, they were able to get in. So I'll say they'll be a staple here.
Yeah,
That's great.
And then we've got a team. Team Legacy is actually a team that's made up of former scholarship winners, and so that's really the team I'm most excited about because that's our goal. Yeah. Is to get these young people coming back, and Dennis can comment on that a little bit.
Yeah, that's Tyler Coleman, a Caldwell County a kid that attended Crittenden as well, but he works for the Farmers Bank, and he's put together a legacy team of alumni of the foundation. So we're really excited to have those guys. And then Tyler, along with Ethan Hill, assistant coach of mine, they're going to run the alumni tent for the week. So
it's the Jake Hodge Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament coming up, and again, it's a big fundraiser for the scholarships. And if people still want to donate, how can they go about that?
Well, Todd, they can just come to the field and donate during the event. Make the checks payable to the Jake Hodge Foundation. They can also donate online at the Jake Hodge website.
And of course, we are a 501c3, so all of your contributions are tax deductible.
There's also another team that's new called Sarah's Cubs, and I'll let Dennis comment on them.
I saw that team.
They have raised over $7,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll speak on Sarah's Cubs. Sarah Kessler was a girl that graduated from Crittenden County. She was teaching back at Crittenden County, a substitute teacher, among other things, and she was a huge sports fan. Followed the kids everywhere. Last fall, our last early winter, Crittenden, we played at Livingston County, and we come back. The weather was bad. It was raining, and she was in a car accident. We thought she was going to be okay. Then we found out that she had a brain injury and ended up dying about 3 days later. So it obviously it really affected our players, our community, and certainly the Kessler family. I think with the outpouring of support from the community, it really touched the Kessler family, and they wanted to be a part of the foundation wiffle ball tournament. So Ken Gary, a teacher at the school and good friends with the Kesslers, he is entering the team, and they have raised money to support that. Now, I will say Sarah was an awesome girl, and she was a huge Cubs fan.
Oh, wow.
An absolutely huge Cubs fan. So with that being said, Sarah's Cubs.
Yeah, that's a great thing they're doing.
And I can't let you go before talking about one of my favorite things, and that's you've always got good food out there. Let's talk about the food, man. I like talking about the food. That's what I'm about.
Yes, I told him I'll let Dennis talk about the food, but I'll just comment on this. I lose about 15 pounds the month before, and I gain it back that weekend.
Yeah, if you don't care about wiffle ball, but you're just looking for a good meal, my wife is a fantastic cook, and we have several other chefs that show up to help out with the grill. But you don't need to eat fried bologna year round, but maybe 1 weekend out of the year you could be all right. Between the fried bologna and the pork chops and the famous Lady Rocket sauce that goes on them, it is a weekend of good food.
Amen.
Is there any way to know how many people are out there watching, and how many people actually come through your yard during this event?
It's a lot. I counted about almost 500 last year at the opening ceremonies. I tried to just do a head count when I was sitting back there, and but it's over the course of the weekend. There will be probably over 1,000 individuals that come through that area and just watch a few games and go home, eat a sandwich and go home. But yeah, I would just encourage anyone that wants to come out. I mean, it's going to be a great weather weekend. Great weekend weather-wise, and I'm just encourage everyone to come out and just bring a chair and just eat a little pork chop sandwich or a fried bologna sandwich and just enjoy the event. I think that the most fun you have is when the crowds are the largest.
Yeah.
And I think with two fields going at once, we're going to have a lot of people there at the same time. So it's going to be really cool this year, and I'm anxious to see how the second field goes. The people that help us with this, though, David Solinger brings out the light plants, the cones. Dwight Meeks and the Princeton Electric Plant Board bring out a light plant. I mean, Adam French has been so helpful in the grass, and there's so many people that go into this. You can't thank them all, but it's an army of people that help us with everything. And, it's just been the community just comes together so well, and it just, when you need the light plant, and then I don't even call them anymore. They call me, and so it's great. It's a lot of help.
True community event.
Absolutely. Yep. Appreciate you guys coming in today
Thank
and
you
being
all
on the show, and good luck on another great event, and hopefully pass that goal this year and set a bigger one next year.
Right. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
That's going to wrap it up on the Sideline Report today. Thanks for everybody for coming in. Thanks to Ty for sitting in on the show today. Thanks a lot, and that's going to wrap it up. You've been listening to the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. Democrats tangling over immigration, crime, and the economy last night.
The way we win this election is we redefine economic progress to include all the things that matter to the people in Michigan and all of us, like our own health, our well-being, our mental health.
Candidate Andrew Yang during the debate on CNN, where some argued the current